I'm restored, and I've been rewarded. I'm redeemed from guilt and shame. Never rejected, just reconnected. Now I'm exalted.
Belvin, we're about to embark on something about the film documentary tonight. Actually, two documentaries on restoring a black family as well as men in transition.
Yeah, definitely. We're hoping that with tonight's setting that we're going to try to find a way to cure what's going on in our communities. In the black community, the family structure has been broken apart, and a lot of brothers, a lot of men, young men and older men do not know how to find their way back to be the husbands, brothers, leaders that they need to be in their community. So our hope tonight with the panel that we're putting together and the questions that we're going to create is a way to find a cure to those problems.
Yeah, and to piggyback on what KL said, what made me start the branch of restoring the black family is I'm a young black brother. I lost my father at the age of 4. My mother was addicted to crack cocaine for 27 years. She's now clean. And my family structure has very well been broken from day one, I can say, as well as I'm also a parent of 2 young gentlemen. And these 2 young gentlemen live in 2 separate households with their mother, not in mine. So my family structure is not all the way there. So what I want to do is try to help restore the black family by not only working on minds, working on others as well, because we do have this problem existing in our community. So I'm going to take on that aspect of restoring the black family, which coincides with what KL is bringing to the table with men in transition.
Definitely, and I guess I'm the other side of the coin. I am actually a man that is in transition. I believe that we're all in transition to something. The question is to what? Well, as a man in transition, I was able to change my life from a man who lived his life chasing women, a man that created 6 different children with 5 different women, but now I'm a happily married man, a man who knows the Lord and who goes out here every day to try to educate children to not be the type of man that I was. With saying that, I decided to step up front, take the leadership role, make myself transparent, put my story out there to attract folks into the consideration of how do we actually get men to transition. Tonight is a culmination of that step forward. Jermaine and I decided that if we could move forward, call on folks to come out and answer these questions, then we can actually start to get those answers from other people. People have heard it from us. They've heard Jermaine's story, they heard my story, they know what we're about. But what we're going to do tonight is to offer you an opportunity to listen to folks from their viewpoints, from their feelings about these 2 issues. And this is just the start, because we're going to definitely be bringing this to you in the future in other formats, and we hope that you will definitely find something that helps cure the problems that we know exist in our communities.
That's 100% correct. In reading a book that's currently out right now by KL Belvin from Belvin Publishing, Gigolo of Jesus, I saw myself in the story. And to be a man in transition, you must first acknowledge that you're trying to get from one place to another. So it makes perfect sense to get with KL and do men in transition, restoring a black family, because they coincide with each other. He has his things going on with his family he's trying to rebuild, such as myself. I'm trying to transition to be a better man and put myself around better people. So it just goes hand in hand, and we're working with so many great people. We have Nia Bengi on production behind the cameras, and then we have his wife Tiffany Braxton Belvin, who's working behind the scenes. We have Miss Renee Jennings, who's doing some PR for us. So we have a good support system, and we're going to need the support of our friends, our family, and those that we don't even know. We're trying to do something that we're going to give out for free with this DVD, because we don't want somebody to not get the message but they couldn't afford it.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So the main thing is we want to try to help supply the community, and there's no excuse why you can't say you can have it. The only reason you can't utilize it right then if you don't have a DVD player. But you may know someone who has a DVD player. And if you don't have a DVD player, maybe our next panel discussion, we have to get a big TV and a DVD player in here in the same setting, and we all sit down as a group and watch it as a family.
And in closing, like Jermaine said, we're doing this to give the DVDs away for free. What you're about to witness is not scripted, not rehearsed. We didn't prep the panel, we just simply asked the questions, and the only requirement that we had is that we asked folks to come directly from their experiences and their heart. Because I find that the only real cure is a true cure. You can't give somebody a placebo and it's going to cure what ails them, what ails them. But if we can actually give them true medicine, something that actually enters the body and fixes what's wrong. What we're trying to fix is the mind. And if we can actually get folks to think differently, then we can change how they act. So what you're about to witness is what we hope to be history in the making. So this is K.L. Belvin, Jermaine Smith. Hang with us for a little while, and I think you're going to see something very positive, very beautiful. Take care.
Okay. Okay, oh, pardon me. All right. What I'm dealing with is men in transition. So these questions are coming from a point of view of how can we get men to transition into something better. So that's the point of reference with the questions. We're going to start from the young ladies here, and we're going to work our way up to Aries, and then we'll work our way back to make it easier. Okay, so we're going to start with Shu. What do you believe are the major factors preventing African American men from transitioning into better fathers, husbands, and leaders?
I've always thought that it's been a lack of reference, like they have nothing to pull from, they haven't seen examples, they rarely hear it, they don't, it's just not something that occurs all the time. So if I don't know how, if I don't see someone ride their bike, how do I know that, that I'm supposed to pedal? And that's school, and that's one of the major things that I think.
Okay.
I feel at this point in time now that I kind of look at things, I always come from the spiritual aspect. And I think that we as a people, and I believe, have gotten away from our foundation in God, our beliefs. I believe that with the black man, there's been an attempt to live or an adapted lifestyle that is not ours. And so therefore, the trap has been laid. And because we all know about the Willie Lynch and so forth and so on, but I think that it's just, there's been a lack of accountability to now take accountability and then move forward. I think there's a lot of still holding on to what has happened in the past, instead of just grasping, okay, this is where we're at, this is where I'm at, I want to do better, and let's move forward. And I think that's been part of the problem.
I definitely agree with both of them, because the lack of spirituality and the lack of, their fathers not being there, without the examples, without anyone letting them know that they can do things, letting them know that they can be more than what the media says that they can be, that without those components, they only have themselves. And so it perpetuates more sin, more crime, more lack, more broken homes, because boys are raising each other, the Crips are raising each other, the Bloods are raising each other, so there's no way that they can identify with what it's like to be a real man.
Brother?
I'm thinking it's the lack of hope, or seeing that there's hope out there. I think especially with young men, the difficulty they have trying to transition, because even if they go to school, just like you mentioned, a young man, even though he has 90s, I think he has that pressure because he believes, even if I achieve this, there is no hope of me getting better. Because a lot of them probably come from impoverished families or dysfunctional families. Some of them may be very well off, but they see that there's no hope for them to become a better person because of the images out there, maybe in videos, maybe images presented by, like you said, rap stars, maybe like Video, P. Diddy, Jay-Z, or like that. Or an NBA player, they see that, but they know that to get to that level, it's like maybe it's a shot in the dark. 1,000 guys may go for it, but only one guy make it in. So why should I hope if this is my dream? So I think it's a lack of seeing that there's a hope out there that they can identify with. I believe it's always been an identity crisis, because if I have nothing to identify with, then what is the hope for me to transition to anything?
Excellent. Brother?
Very complex question. Number of things. The black home is in total disarray. Not just because the black man is absent in most cases, but the black mother is also absent. There was a day when a black woman would go to the wall for her child. We see too often, and I'm in and out of schools myself, mothers are not even there for the children. Deuteronomy 28 on blessings and curses. God said that if you will not honor me and worship me as God, I will lay all these curses upon you. And he said, I will have an adversary come from the north and carry your children off to a land you know not of. And there they will work in the fields. And there they will plant the crop, but the harvest will not be theirs. He said, you will take a wife and another man will sleep with her. You will own an ass and another man will take that ass from you. He said, no matter where you go in the world, this curse will follow you, and no man will take up the cause to help you. This is where we are. And as the sister said, spiritual, number one. Until we come back to God, we can't correct it.
Amen.
All of this is spiritual, because the devil is doing what he does.
Amen.
We have been sold a bill of goods. She said, we don't know who we are. We are African people. We work out of a different mindset and axiology. And we're trying to act like Europeans. It doesn't work.
Amen.
Okay? It doesn't work. We are a communal people. It's not about me and I. It's got to be the we. Okay? We don't know our history. And at times we use our history as an excuse for not trying to do better. We've been through this before. And he who experiences and cannot learn from his experiences before. We've been through this. So when these people come up talking about crack and this and that, we had heroin back in the 60s. There's nothing new under the sun. I've never seen a white man on Fulton and Nostrand sticking a black man in his arm with a needle. Never seen it. But we will go out and do these things and deceive ourselves. Romans chapter 1 is real. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Well, I'm going to stop there because
I know the brother next to you like, whoo, I gotta follow that. Well, brother, that's all that can follow. So.
But I think we should just take the collection, turn the cameras off, and go home. No, you take everything that was said, especially Brother Graham, put it together, and I agree with it. But my piece is that what I see is that there is a fear that has gripped us, a fear to trust. We're afraid to trust ourselves. We seem to trust anyone else, you know, from anywhere else. But right here in our own homes, our own communities, we do not trust each other. And it has allowed, you know, the dissemination of the family, dissemination of the community, our community-based economics, our community-based, you know, politics to erode. And when that happens, you put yourself in a situation where you just become powerless. I also feel that we definitely have to have something I had when I was a child, more role models. There are no standards for manhood other than ICB that we know, that I know of today. Another way of saying it is rites of passage. Okay, where a young man is taught how to become a man, what comprises a man, what his responsibilities are to his family, to his community, to his state, to his nation. And more so how to treat his woman. We need these things. They are sorely missing.
Thank you, brother. Excellent. Aries?
Okay. I really want to touch on things that he said too. It's like, I'm a lot younger, you know, I'm a young guy, and I'm an educator as well. I teach special education for preschool. And a lot of the parents that come in there are young parents. Young parents, from anywhere from 18, 17 to 23, you know, and they have no idea what to do with these kids. Because from jump, they didn't have parents in their home showing them what to do. And these young men are walking around with no structure in the household. They go look into the media for the structure, who they see out there. 50 Cent, Jay-Z, this person, that person. And if you look at all their personal stories, how did they come up into the place that they was? By dealing drugs, by selling drugs, by prostitution and everything else. All these negative things. So when young men look at this and they see this, that's what I need to do to get up out of here. I need to sell drugs. I need to poison my people. I need to get that money and this is what I need to do to come up. And and religion is nowhere in the home. Religion is nowhere in the home. In my home in particular, my grandmother, Big Mama, was where the religion came from. Every time something happened, Lord have mercy, Lord, Lord, and she'd start quoting scriptures out, and I didn't understand it coming up. I was like, my grandma going through this again. But it instilled something in me. It instilled something in me to where I actually got older, and I started looking up things she said, and she passed on, and now I have 11 nephews and 1 niece. And my older brother's going on to sell drugs and do his thing. My cousins, my male cousins going on to do whatever they do. And it was like up to me to come up. And I was following down that path. I saw my brother. I saw my cousins. And I was like, that's maybe what I need to do. But I turned around and I was running with the wrong crowd. And I wasn't doing it. But I was just around that element. And I got shot at for something that somebody else did. And I think that was the best thing that ever happened in my life. I went to Connecticut. I went to the University of New Haven, got my degree, came back out here, got another degree in music, and now I'm teaching. And it's the best job I've ever had in my life. And the only reason I'm doing this is to show my nephews and everybody else, you don't gotta go the route of selling drugs. You don't gotta go the route of trying to treat these women like toys and not respecting them, you know? I'm getting married and I love my fiance and I respect her to the fullest. I never cheated on her, never did anything like that. I don't show her any kind of disrespect. And I think that's how the home should be ran. And there needs to be a lot more men that's gonna stand up and take these roles.
Yes, sir.
A lot more men that's gonna stand up and take these roles and just take reign. Because as young men coming up, I can honestly tell you, if an older man would come to them right now and tell them something that they need to hear, they'll look at you like, what are you talking about? You don't know my struggle. You don't know where I'm from. I'm from the hood. I'm from the streets. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get that money. You know what I'm saying? So they need brothers that's really gonna. They need brothers. Women can do it too, but as a man, you need another man to sit there, sit you down, and let you know this is what you need to do. Out there hustling is not gonna get you where you need to be. You're gonna end up dead.
I'm restored, and I've been